What if you wanted to calm down anti-immigrant crowd, but didn't want to do your homework properly?
Every area of the immigration system, work, family and study, will be tightened up so we have more control.
I think I paid almost like 200K in all 7 years in taxes. I felt betrayed. Everything that I worked for the past 7 years just collapsed.
I read the UK's new immigration white paper, so you don't have to. And here is the spoiler. No timelines, no concrete solutions, just chaos and a lot of questions. And I'll be honest, it's the most cold-blooded immigration policy ever, not since the Middle Ages. And frankly, even medieval England treated migrants with more consistency than this. I'm Stanislav, I'm an immigrant, and this channel is your frontline guide to life in the UK, told from the inside. So hit subscribe, smash that like button, and I really want to hear your take in the comments. Today, we are breaking down the white paper, the draft immigration reform that's got everyone confused and worried. We'll talk facts, fallout, consequences, who this hits hardest, and what we can actually do about it.
I'm doing this because it is right, because it is fair.
No, Mr. Stammer, that's not entirely right. And it's definitely not fair. Here is why. Let's start with the change that shocked hundreds of thousands of people. The new ILR rule. The government now wants to double the wait for permanent residency, from 5 to 10 years for most migrants. And the worst part, it might apply retroactively, rewriting the rules for people already years into their journey, and there is a high chance that it will happen. On paper, they say it's all about ensuring people are truly committed to life in the UK before earning the right to stay. But here is the reality. Many of us have already proved that commitment. We worked, paid taxes, built businesses, raised kids who speak with British accents and support local football clubs. We followed every rule, stayed invisible when it was convenient for the system. And now, just as we're finally nearing stability, the rug is being pulled from under us. This isn't a reform. It's a gut punch to everyone who trusted process. 5 years was the promise. That's what people built their lives around. And in those 5 years, immigrants endured things most citizens wouldn't accept for 5 days. We kept quiet while being demonized in headlines, blamed for NHS queues and housing shortages, all while doing the very jobs that keep the country running. We were tied to one employer. Most people can't imagine the stress of knowing that one layoff could mean losing your home, your child's school place, and right to stay. We paid the NHS surcharge, then paid again and again. And now we're told, wait 5 more years, pay more, and still no guarantees. But while we are being treated as optional, the truth is immigrants are essential. Migrants keep your GP phone lines open. We build the apps you rely on. We lead innovation in tech, streamline systems, modernize management. We patch roads, keep the internet running, etc. Immigrants have been scapegoated.
If we do need to do more to release pressure on housing and our public services, then mark my words, we will.
Ah yes, the classic line. It's all because of immigrants. They all repeating this like a magic spell. But the facts don't really support this. Studies from Migration Observatory in Oxford show that immigration has little to no impact on housing prices, public services or wages. The real problems are things like underfunding, planning restrictions and years of bad policy. And here is what's usually left out. Migrants actually contribute more in taxes than they take out. I wanted to hear from real skilled workers. My friend Renat is one of them. 7 years in the UK, working, contributing, doing everything right. He was set to apply for ILR next year. Now the future is in doubt.
As an immigrant, all you really do is you pay taxes. You pay taxes, you contribute to the economy, you have no access to public funds. I think I used NHS service once in all the 7 years that I've been here. But apart from that, if, for example, I'll be made redundant tomorrow, I have 2 months to find another job or I must leave the country. And this is it. I think I paid almost like 200K in all of 7 years in taxes.
But Stammer knows one thing, he doesn't have time to fix the real issues. So instead, he goes for the easy win, blaming people who can't fight back. It's not a solution, it's a distraction. Yes, Britain has problems, big ones, but immigration, honestly, it's not even in the top 5.
It's all populism, right? It's driven by fear, and it's driven by fear of reform, who's gaining in polls, and the Labour government is completely terrified of what's going to happen to them in a couple of years' time.
NHS, 20% of the staff are foreign-born, tech 30%, hospitality 25%, construction 20%, plus 400,000 jobs created by immigrant entrepreneurs every year.
Could the Home Secretary explain why, in the introduction of this white paper, the language of Enoch Powell was used by the Prime Minister? There's been no speaking up about the enormous value of migration to this country that's kept our NHS running, our education service running, and so much more, and that there are already 130,000 vacancies in the care sector. Does anything in her white paper do anything to improve community relations or deal with the now labour shortage within the NHS and the care service, or is it all about trying to please these people who unfortunately sit in front of me?
I used this metaphor in the previous video, but I'll say it again. Imagine everyone without a British passport disappears, just like that. Could the UK survive? Technically yes, but I ran the numbers like Doctor Strange, millions of outcomes, and unlike the Avengers, I didn't find a single one where it ends well. GDP would shrink by 3 or 5%, inflation would spike, key industries would take decades to recover. So let's say I agree to this punishment, I sit quietly and wait another 7 years. Spoiler, I won't. But even if I did, what promise do I have that the rules won't change again? What if they move the goalposts again? Or introduce new integration tests, or a new fee? There are no guarantees. And if you're a skilled worker choosing your next country, why would you pick one that changes the rules halfway through? Legal experts are already warning this could be challenged in court. And rightly so, because this isn't just unfair, it's destabilizing. People aren't spreadsheets. You can't change the terms halfway through and expect no fallout. If applied retrospectively, the rules would trap hundreds of thousands in limbo. And here's the irony, even in medieval England, when the crown issued letters of denization to aliens, the rules were more stable. Once granted legal status, it wasn't suddenly taken back. In 2025, a modern country is offering less certainty than the 14th century. We may not have full rights, but we have value. We have a voice, and we have leverage. This country needs us just as much as we need it, maybe more. And if we want that to be recognized, we have to speak up. So please sign the petition to stop those changes from being applied retroactively. The link is in the description. Alongside plans to make most people wait 10 years for settlement, the government is proposing a carrot to go with that very long stick. A new points-based settlement system. Think of it like a loyalty card, but instead of a free coffee, you get the right to stay. So what counts as a contribution? That's still pretty vague. According to the white paper, points might be earned by things like earning a high salary, working in shortage or priority sectors, making social contributions, whatever it could mean, maybe paying more tax, starting a business or investing in communities. But the government isn't just making it harder to stay in the UK, they are making it harder to get in. From now on, to qualify for a skilled worker visa, your job must require a university bachelor's degree. Officially, it's RQF level 6. Salary thresholds are going up across the board, making it harder to qualify for visa unless you are in a well-paid role. The immigration health surcharge going up. The skills charge employers pay up 32%. The white paper says the goal is to reduce so-called low-skilled migration and push business to hire and train UK residents instead. Now, on paper, that might sound like a reasonable long-term strategy. We'll invest in our own people, they say. I totally get it. But once you dig into the details, here is what you'll find. There is no actual plan. The government admits that many critical sectors, from social care to construction and engineering, simply don't have domestic pipeline to replace migrant workers. Their solution? Training, but they don't yet know how. I checked, experts say it'll take 5 to 10 years to build the local workforce. And that's if everything goes right. Better pay, better working conditions, more apprenticeships, and people actually willing to take those jobs. In engineering and construction, apprenticeships are falling, not rising. Meanwhile, the UK has pledged to build 1.5 million homes by 2028, which would require an extra 250,000 workers. Where are they supposed to come from? They're not magically appearing from Job Centre Plus. In healthcare and social care, things look even worse. The government has already revoked over 470 sponsor licenses, affecting around 40,000 workers. And they are totally closing the care visa road to new applicants. What's the replacement? A few vague lines from fair play agreements and workforce strategies. They do mention setting up a new labor market evidence group. Yes, it will collect data, consult departments and provide advice. It's great, but here's the thing. There is no budget in the document, no timeline, no workforce plan, no roadmap with the specific steps. I see just the ideas floating in vacuum. And I really hope someone in charge understands. You don't blow up the bridge and then schedule workshops on how to swim. Next, family visas. The UK has already raised the income requirement to bring over a partner, and while plans to raise it even further to almost 39,000 are currently on pause, the idea is still very much alive. The official line is to make sure families don't rely on public funds, but the reality is that many people, especially women, young workers, or those outside London, simply don't earn that much, which means more couples being forced to live apart, even if they have followed every rule. Groups like Reunite Families UK warn these policies are already hurting children. Some are growing up knowing a parent only through video calls. The stress is real, and no visa form can explain that to a child. The government also wants tougher checks to provide your relationship is real. That means more paperwork, more rejections, more pressure. At some point, even real couples will start asking themselves, do we love each other enough to survive the home office? The system actually asks, can you afford it? But for many families, the real answer is no, even when love, roots, or children say otherwise. And the government now wants them to say it in English. Under the new rules, visa applicants will need higher levels of English than before. Main applicants must prove B2 level, that's upper intermediate. And for the first time, adult dependents will need English too. A1 just to enter, A2 to extend, and B2 to stay permanently. To be fair, this sounds reasonable to me. If you live in the country, you should speak the language. Simple as that. I've seen people who've been citizens for decades and still don't speak a word in English. I don't support that. These fellas somehow navigate NHS, console, and the bus timetable all without speaking English. That's not a lack of language skills, that's dark magic. Speaking of dark magic, the government has its own disappearing trick. And this time, the target is international students. They plan to cut the graduate road from 2 years to 18 months, claiming that's plenty of time to find a job. But universities and employers disagree. Hiring, especially for entry-level roles, takes time. This change could push out thousands of students who genuinely want to stay and contribute. And I've seen this firsthand. I've been mentoring women trying to break into the video games industry, my own field. One of them, a brilliant student, a UK citizen, has been job hunting for over a year. She's smart, talented, way above many of candidates, and still nothing, no job. Not because she's not good enough, but because breaking into an industry here takes time. It's networking, persistence, and honestly, luck. Actually, it deserves a separate video for another day about how broken recruiting and HR is in this country. But if she can't break in after a year, what chance does a freshly graduated international student have? In just 18 months, the white paper also brings us abuse of the system. Some lower-tier institutions and dodgy recruitments admitted students have never planned to study. Universities must show that 95% of international students enroll, and that 90% complete their courses. Yes, some parts of the system have been exploited, no one's denying that. But the vast majority of international students are here for the right reasons. And as one dude wrote in the comments, you don't burn down the house because someone left the door open. Students bring in over 20 billion a year, help fund research and fuel the UK's global reputation. The worry from experts and university leaders is simple. The UK is risking long-term damage over a short-term headline. While most roads are getting tougher, one door remains wide open, and it's lined with gold.
We should keep it real. Fit. 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 Wait. Back to Slovenia.
The UK is rolling out the red carpet for the brightest and best. The global talent and innovator founder visas are expanding. The government wants more scientists, AI researchers, engineers, and startup founders. And it's offering them faster processing, simpler paperwork, and even new roles for research interns. It's a clear message. If you're at the top tier in the right field, the UK wants you, and wants you fast. Here is the contradiction. While elite talent is welcomed with open arms, other migrants, skilled workers, families, carers, students are being pushed back by stricter rules, higher fees and longer waits. If many of these changes go through, the UK may start to look unstable and unwelcoming, even to the very people it's trying to attract. No one would want to come here because they're changing rules like this. And the world is watching. Canada offers permanent residency in just 3 years and consistent long-term policies. Germany is streamlining immigration with faster blue cards and better recognition of foreign qualifications. Australia is doubling down on skilled migration, with clear path to residency and family-friendly rules.
If reform comes to power, there will be no permanent settlement whatsoever. So they're going to change the rules again. So I see absolutely no reason to stay in the UK and current system because I can go to Europe. You know, I'm a skilled worker. Like I'm hopefully can find a well-paid job elsewhere as well.
Check out my other video about the best countries to move. Let's end with one important thing. This isn't a law yet. It's a proposal, basically a draft with bold headlines and very few solutions. But, and it's a big but, this isn't just a maybe from one party. Many of these changes, including the 10-year ILR rule, higher salary thresholds and cuts of students' immigration policies, have support across the political spectrum. Conservatives backed them before. Labour's pushing them now. The mood has shifted, and the room just got colder. So what happens next? There will be consultations, mostly formalities. Some measures, like visa fees and salary thresholds, are already in effect. Others will be introduced through statutory instruments, which means to full debate in Parliament. Regarding 10 years to ILR retroactively, legally, the government can do it. Blair's government did just that in 2006. But that time, migrants fought back, and some of them won. So there will be legal challenges. So what are the scenarios? Best case, some of the harsher parts get softened during the implementation. Worst case, they won't change anything in the document, and millions of migrants wake up in a system that quietly moved the finish line, doubled the price, and called it integration. And with both major parties supporting the overall direction, we can't rely on politics to fix it. We rely on our pressure, legal action, and public noise. So if you are affected, speak up, share this video, sign the petition, because the only thing louder than public silence is a policy that thinks no one's watching. Thank you very much for watching this video. If you loved it, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share with anyone who might be interested in my content. See you next time, guys.